Hey everyone, Chris Bentley here. Today I want to talk to you about choosing the right brokerage. And I've been getting a lot of questions about what type of brokerage should I go to and who should I choose and what's the best opportunities out there. Myself, I have my own brokerage. I'm not going to pitch you on how great we are, but I will talk about my own personal experiences and hopefully you'll get some sort of knowledge from there. Also, there's a lot of YouTube videos on this particular subject. You can just easily just look up choosing the right real estate brokerage and you'll come across a plethora of videos. Mine's going to be a little bit different. Like I said, I'm going to talk about my own personal journey, and I've been doing this for going on 17 years in October. So I got my license way back, right in the dinosaur age, during the boom of real estate, and that was 2000. Let's see, 2005, 6, 7, because and then the bottom was in the 2008 and 9. So I started out in a big box brokerage, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, or like a franchise. And then I moved on to onto a smaller brokerage, and then I moved on to an even smaller brokerage, which was cool. And then I moved out here to Dallas, and I started at a flat fee brokerage, which I'll talk about. And then I moved to a bigger in between brokerage, not quite a boutique brokerage, but not quite a flat fee brokerage, but not exactly a traditional brokerage. So I'm going to go into everything here. The first question is usually, what do you want to do, right? So do you want to do commercial or do you want to do residential? There's two different deals there. Residential is going to be busier. There's more people that are looking to buy houses than they are businesses looking to rent a storefront or sell a property or buy a property in that matter. So you want to find a broker. If you're going to do commercial, you want to find a brokerage that just does commercial. Now, there's a lot of real estate firms out there that do both residential and commercial. From what I've seen, a lot of the people that say they do commercial really don't do a lot of commercial, and they don't specialize in that. So if you're looking to specialize in commercial, then you want to go with that. And the next thing is going to be the big box or the franchise brokerages. Now, I talked a little bit how I got my start. I'm not going to name any names, but I'm sure you can pretty much guess what they are. They're big names, usually like a red or a blue color. Now, when I first started out, there was no internet classes, so I actually had to be there personally, and it was terrible. I'm not a very good person to sit for long periods of time, so it was pretty brutal on me. But I did get through it. I did get my license. And then once I did get my license, I went to have a conversation with the sales manager or whoever it was there. And they broke down all the fees that would be involved in my commission split. So there's all kinds of fees for a franchise. There's a fee for like desk fees. There's admin fees. There's copier fees. I've been hit with all kinds of different stuff. So when I looked at my numbers, I was like, okay, well, if I bring in this client and sell this amount, I would get this minus all these fees. And that was pretty terrible. I think it was like a 50% split. So, I was inside my head, I was like, well, why am I going to give the brokerage 60% of all the work that I've done? That is going to be your traditional brokerage, because what happens is that there's so many people up the chain with the franchise. You start out with like an owner, and then it goes down to like a regional manager and a sales manager and a estate manager, and then you get and then they have the actual employees of that brokerage, which is like your staff, and the staff usually includes like a transaction manager and all these fancy titles like transaction manager, media creator person, like all these different things for the brokerage. And all those people that are up at the top take your money when you get down to the bottom, because you're the last one. Also, with traditional brokerages, it's usually a big volume. So it's usually like 400 plus agents. And when you have that many agents, it becomes like a numbers game for the for the brokerage, and you become a number. So what that means is that if you're not producing, if you're not coming to training, which they usually have an abundance of training, if you're not coming to training, if you're not participating, coming to the office, then for them, they just think that you're just a number that didn't do anything and isn't interested in real estate, and they'll just go out and get more people, solicit more realtors to come in the door. So it's a very fluid office situation. When you get into a flat fee brokerage, that's going to be a little bit different. So a flat fee is usually a smaller office. It could be a satellite office. It could be an online office. There's usually generally no meetings. There could be some training. It could be virtual training, or it could be like no training at all. And usually your commission is going to be a lot higher, right? It's usually like an 80 or 90 or 100% split, and you pay the house a certain amount of money. And that's great if you know the business really well and you're looking to do like a big team or something like that. That could work out really well for you. Or if you're looking to provide your clients with the best services and then give them a discount, that would be your go-to. I personally, when I was there, it sucked because we did a lot of like flat fee listings. So a lot of the listings were a couple $100 to like $1,500 to list your home. And then for myself, I was an up and coming agent here in Dallas, so I would give them 3% in terms of my service, but yet charge $500 or sometimes less, or in between. So it wasn't really worth it for me. Also, other brokerages that do flat fee listings, a lot of people are on salary. So those people that are on salary, they get paid. They don't care about their commission. If deals fall through, if clients get upset, it's not a really big deal for them because they get paid no matter what. So as long as they're in the office, they get paid. So those are the two, traditional and flat fee. Now there is very many different brokerages out there. There's different systems and different setups, and there's different hybrids of both. So I don't really want to get into that, but just understand that there is hybrids for both of those. The next thing is I kind of touched on is fees. Fees are the worst, right? You get more fees than anything, and you don't want to get sucked into all kinds of different fees for brokerages, because what it's going to do is it's going to water down your split. So if you're getting like 100% contract, and you have a $500 payment for a transaction fee, but then you also have like a desk fee, an admin fee, a social media fee, a website fee. I mean, they could just nickel and dime you to death over different fees. Also, if you're getting into different, like a big box or traditional brokerage, usually they start you out very low, and then they bring you up on tiers. So like it would be, you're starting out at 60%, but you have to do X amount to get to 65%, and then you have to do another X amount to get to 70% and all the way up. Now, I have heard of other brokerages starting higher, but what they'll do is they'll put like a cap on it. So you can only go to a certain amount, and then you're capped and you're locked in there. Or you can go all the way to the top to 100% or 90%, and then what will happen is when the year starts over again, you start over again. So you'll be back at 70%. Now again, that's what I've heard. I've never worked at a company that's like that. I couldn't handle that. So that's how you look at that. Also, I look at different stuff. For me personally, I look at the vibe of the office. Is it young? Is it hip? Are they cool people? And are they generally, I'm here in Texas. Usually people are pretty nice, but are they going to like steal my clients? Or if my client calls the office, is somebody else going to take them out to show homes and then claim them? How are they in terms of, like, if I leave out my notebook at the office, are they going to like go through my notebook and see like what I'm looking at and like what I'm showing? Don't laugh, because people actually do that. So you want to actually really look into who you're signing up with. Also, office location and training is really big. I am not a really huge fan of in-person training. I'm a big fan of actually going out in the field and training. So that's how I learned. When I first got my license, I met a guy that was killing it in real estate and still is doing a great job. And he took me out. I gave him a list of people that were potentially looking to purchase a home, and I would listen to them, make phone calls to them. I would go out and show properties with them until I got good enough to do both of those. And then I would write up an offer or watch him write up the offer. And then before you know it, I was writing up the offer. So it's just a process to go through. Not that the classroom training isn't very good, because there is some good stuff out there and you can learn a lot of stuff. It just, for me, I'm not a big sitting in one place. I'm more about learning in the field. So we got courses, we got mentorship and office location vibe, big box versus flat fee. And then for me, I do not work well with a lot of people that are structured or salary employees of the branch. So like office transaction coordinator, like I don't understand that. Like, you should be able to work your own deals and your own files and your own paperwork. There's different managers. There's like HR managers. There's a recruiting manager. There's an IT guy. There's usually like a secretary that mans the phones, unless they have like a rotation. So there's like a lot of staff. So if I go interview at a brokerage and there's a ton of staff, that means that my commission level is going to be a lot lower, because I'm going to be the last person that gets paid. So you want to look at that. You want to look at the office, the location of the office, how big the office is, and how big the staff is, and that's going to give you a general idea about how much your commission is going to be. And then you want to learn about also fees and tiers. And if you have all that and it looks good to you, then make the jump. Also, don't forget about the vibe. The vibe is very important. If you're an older person and you like to hang out with other people, that's great. I am not quite that old yet. I'm definitely getting there. So I like to hang out with younger people that have more energy. It's exciting, and it's new, and it's just a lot of fun to be around. That's my kind of atmosphere. So thank you for watching this. Like I said, there's many other YouTube videos out there to watch, as long as you get the right information. And this is my own personal story. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. It is a new channel. And thank you for joining me. Take care.